We're in the underground greenhouse, and we're doing some things to help the garden grow vertically as opposed to just spreading out everywhere. Space is limited in here, so we want to make sure we're growing up instead of out. And so one thing I'm doing is I'm taking these normal, tomato towers, or whatever the heck you call these things, and we're going to turn them upside down like this because we don't want to puncture the weed-free garden beds, right? The plastic layer I have down there, if I poke holes in there, then of course weeds can grow up, and we don't want weeds growing into our garden beds because I hate pulling weeds, okay? Lay off me already. Okay, so anyways, instead of sticking in the ground like this, right, like most people do, we're gonna turn them upside down, and we're gonna bring these ends together like this, which will allow the plants to grow up this way and into the sky instead of along the ground. So that's what we're doing next. Okay, so as you can see here, I've got the spaghetti squash right here, and we built this little tower here at the top. We just took a little piece of PVC and I bent these pieces over to kind of hold that all together. But if you look closely, you can see the plant has already started to climb this as opposed to just laying on the ground. Okay, today is May 3rd, 2020. I'm in the underground greenhouse, and you can see behind me here, everything's getting a little greener. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip the camera around and just show you how everything's been growing. Okay, so I showed you in the last video that we have the sprinklers going here in the underground greenhouse. That's been nice. These plants have been growing nicely and enjoying the greenhouse. You can see here, I've put some of the plants around the edge here just to help them get watered as well. And you can see my little invention here. I've taken the tomato trail, I believe that's what they call them, and I put it upside down. And what I did right here, took a piece of hose, if you can see that. Anyways, took a piece of hose there, stuck the 3 pieces up through it to kind of hold it together. And you can see the spaghetti squash is starting to climb that as well, which will allow the garden to grow vertically. So you can see the tomato plants back there looking pretty healthy as well. And then if you come over here, you can see the original spaghetti squash that I planted is really doing well. It's climbing straight up like I was hoping it would do. You can see back here, we've got some carrots growing. And then right here you have the cucumber plant, which is also getting bigger. Okay, here you can see the 2 lily koi plants. They look like they're doing pretty good out here. You have the Yukon Gold potatoes here. You can see they've almost reached the top of the pot. So that's good. We'll probably get some potatoes there. And then we have the 3 pots of red potatoes. You can see they are filled to the top. So those are all looking good. I think we're gonna get a lot of potatoes this year. You can look here at this little orange tree. You can see a tiny little orange growing there. It's more like a green right now, but it looks like it's doing pretty good. We have a few of those growing on here. So we're hopeful this little tree will produce some oranges for us this year. And then the grapefruit tree has got a ton of fruit growing on it. I'm not sure what we're gonna do with all this. We're gonna have to pick some of them off. And once again, I'm just praying that some of these stick and we actually get some grapefruits out of this tree this year. And then of course, this orange tree here is producing as well so far. If you look up here, you can see we've got some tiny little oranges growing. So that's looking good. Our plants here, we've started to sell them, but you can see we've got some growing here. This week I grabbed some raspberry starts, but you can see we've got our tomatoes growing down here, and a lot of our vined plants up here like cucumbers. We have zucchinis down here, pumpkins up there, more cucumber down here, pepper plants. They're growing really slow. And then watermelons down here. You see that little guy running around in here? I have never seen that type of bug. I don't know what it is. Looks like some sort of cross between a grasshopper or a cricket. But anyway, I don't think he can stay. And if you look down here, you can see we also have the peas growing. All right, as you can see behind me, the rhubarb has absolutely exploded since I put the cow manure and turkey manure around it just a few days ago. So today we're gonna harvest all this rhubarb. And yeah, so today I'll be showing you how to harvest rhubarb. I'm gonna bring the camera in a little closer so you can see how we do it. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to harvest the rhubarb. And so this is what you do. Gonna reach in all the way down to the base. You can feel the base of that thing way in there. Hopefully there's no black widows. And you just kind of wiggle it back and forth. And it pops out just like that. And you can see the end will look kind of like this. You just rip that little piece off. So the next thing you do when you have this big piece of rhubarb like this is a beautiful piece, by the way, you actually rip off this part right here. Why? Because this part is poisonous. This is the good part here, so we're gonna keep this, and I'll go ahead and do a time-lapse video for you guys so you can see the whole thing, the whole process. Okay, so if you look here, we've thinned out the rhubarb completely. You've got the pile of leaves there. You can see we've got a bucket of rhubarb there where we left the leaves on. And then of course, right there, you can see the other bucket of rhubarb. If you come in here a little closer, you can see we've thinned everything out nicely. We've left a lot on there because they're still skinny, and that gives us a chance to let them grow the rest of the way. And then of course you see this piece right here, this little tower. This is kind of what the seeds look like, but it's my understanding that they don't really produce. So actually you just want to reach right in here and just pluck that piece off and throw it in your garbage pile. Okay, so we just harvested the rhubarb. Now I'm going to show you how to take a start from the rhubarbs. After the rhubarb plants have been in the ground for a while, they start getting really big. Like you can see the plants here behind me. And so what you can do is you can actually take out a chunk, maybe a third to a half of the rhubarb plant, and you can plant it in a different pot and of course give it to your neighbors or plant it in another location in your yard. So I'm going to go ahead and take about a third of this plant here, and I'm going to put it into a bucket and put it in the greenhouse, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but I'm just going to show you basically how to take a start from your rhubarb. Okay, so you can see the rhubarb plant right here. This is the whole plant, and we're just going to take this section right here. Probably shouldn't wear flip-flops. Okay, so you can see that. Here we go. You can see the big roots down there. Hopefully this will fit in here. Just like that. Then I'm gonna take some of this good soil down here and put that in around the edges here. And then when I'm done, I'll give this some good water, and hopefully that will help revive the plant and it will survive. All right, and that's perfect. Well, that's it for this episode of Apocalyptic Gardening, my underground garden. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to follow the progress of my underground greenhouse, please hit the subscribe button below and ring that little bell so you don't miss any videos the next time I post them. Thank you.